test is in order. 5 enhanced clones, more capable than an army. Yet they exhibit a concerning level of disobedience in disregard for orders.
What else you got? Give me more!
Our squad's nothing but trouble. But we get the job done.
You're Clone Force 99.
You know who we are.
Hunter,
Let's go.
Echo,
Hyperdrive's online.
Tick,
Prepping to jump.
Wrecker,
Let's blow something up! Yeah!
and Crosshair.
Your move.
Ha! We're all you need.
I want Clone Force 99 found and wiped out.
The galaxy's a dangerous place to be.
We need to get out of here. What do you say, kid? You want to come with us?
How can I help?
The Clone Wars have ended. You can either adapt and survive, or die with the past. The decision is yours.
We do what we do. Strap in, kid.
Oh, hello and welcome to the Periodic Table of Awesome. I press the right button and my name is Dion and it's a Friday night.
Hell yes!
Hell yeah. Hi, Jill.
Hey, Dee!
How are you?
I'm good. Cheers to Friday.
Cheers to Friday. Cheers to you. Thank you. Cheers to Friday and cheers to everyone out there in the Twitch. Hello, in the chat. Yes, hello. There's lots of yays and hellos and things like that.
Yay.
And
Lots
oh
of
my
fry
god,
yays.
twice in 1 week. Double the
Ah.
Twitch.
Well, technically one for you.
Or a
You were
bonus
hiding.
a
You were
bonus
hiding on
twatch? A bonus
Tuesday. Oh,
twatch.
yeah.
A bonus twatch for Fridays, yes. But
What's the Twitch?
we're trying to do
We're
this.
talking about the beard bitch on
You're
Twitch.
You're straight into it, aren't we? Straight into it. Okay. Yep. All right. We're talking about the beard bitch.
Yeah. In Amiga.
And for some reason, now for whatever creative decision George Lucas has made, every clone now sounds like a New Zealand accent, forever giving any New Zealander.
Camino is really
Work.
in Wellington.
It really is. Shitting down rain constantly. bunch of like elf people walking around, and then a bunch
Yeah.
of like fun talking goblins doing all the work. I don't know what to say. Oh, how's everyone going today? Good. Like how's everyone out in the chat? Good. Excellent. Okay with it?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Also,
okay
wants to
with New
become
Zealand?
famous. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh well,
follows.
yeah, that's okay.
Sweet.
I can sort that out in a second. Hang on. I'm sure that there's powers to do something in this. I'm just not very familiar with it because I'm bad at the internet. But what's not bad at the internet is the Bad Batch, which has been out now for weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah. It was today, episode 5.
Today, I believe, just out. Like, and which was it? It was episode. No, it wasn't. Today was episode 9.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Okay.
So today was
It's actually been going a lot longer than I thought it was.
It's been going for 9 weeks. That's over 2
Wow.
months. Because as Disney is a vertically integrated marketing machine, after everyone had finished with watching both The Mandalorian and what was that other one? The Marvel one. Fuck.
Falcon Winter Soldier?
No, the one before that. WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Yeah, we watched WandaVision and then started The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and like, well, better get some Star Wars content out there too. And we're like, oh shit, yeah, right. Let's get the Bad
Yes,
Batch going.
please.
We're just kind of used to it all now, but now it's just like, great. But yeah, Bad Batch. Interesting. And while this is Friday, so it's absolutely looser than Tuesdays.
Yes.
I don't really plan on reviewing the Bad Batch this time. I'm not going to
No,
give it a
we're
rating.
just-
It's Friday.
No.
I don't have to give a
Let's just
shit.
talk about it.
We're just
No.
going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And talk to you about it in the chat.
Yes. I want to know what you guys are thinking. But first of all, okay, let's go back here. Jill,
Yeah.
you've watched, have you seen Star Wars?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So Star Wars has created this very short series that no one has invested too much of their own personal time in. And it's just a funny little thing. And then you've got this show Bad Batch, which is the pinnacle of every dream for it. But no, like Bad Batch is it an offshoot? Would you call it an offshoot?
Yeah. I'd call it a spin-off of a spin-off.
and are you a Tatarovsky purist?
Tatarovsky.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So we're going deeper in there. So
Do I need to bring out the gonk?
yeah.
The gonk is actually in this series.
Yeah. The gonk trade. Yes, and if you don't know what that is, I'm being gonked already for shut up. So the original Clone Wars cartoon that was being made by the guy who did Samurai Jack, Genndy Tatarovsky.
Okay.
Made like a Clone Wars cartoon, which everyone was super excited about, and it had very little talking in it, but lots of style and animation, and that was kind of interesting. It led straight into episode 3 when they were releasing that, like the cartoon, and then they announced that they were going to be making a Clone Wars series, and they kind of just dusted that under the rug, the original Clone Wars series. So there's 2 seasons of Clone Wars beforehand, and then and then there's the new Clone Wars, which was the more official one, and as Rob says in there, he also make a caveman dinosaur series called Primal, which is kind of cool. That's his new work. But yeah, and then we've got Clone Wars, and Clone Wars was really interesting because it just kind of, it was there in the transitional period when Disney was being bought, was buying up Lucasfilm, so it kind of still existed, but like it is canon, and it's gotten more and more, but now it just seems to be spread out. Because this weird thing with the Clone Wars series, you remember how you're watching it and then it kind of went weird, and they didn't, like, it kind of went weird because the storylines weren't there, and then you got these series of, like, some of the series of the Clone Wars were like very hodgepodge. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Because they were throwing episodes in that they hadn't really finished, that they hadn't resolved correctly. So somewhere in the later, there's some weird, like, there's a season called the Lost Season or something, which is the Lost Episodes, which is a whole season of just B-roll that they didn't know where to put. So, and it fucked up a whole bunch of stuff, like in the narrative. And then they kind of did the last season of Clone Wars because they wanted to go and wrap it all up correctly, because they knew where they were going to head with Ahsoka, and they had Rebels, which they wanted to tie in some of those narrative lines.
Yeah.
And then Rebels started before the last season of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels weird. And now they've come out with this. Well, Filoni has taken on the new roles of, show running or writing the live action Star Wars. They also gave him the green lights to this stuff, which is the Bad Batch, which is not Clone Wars. Well, what would you call it? It's like Clone Wars season 11 or whatever. I'm sure someone will correct me there.
7 was the last season.
So this is just Clone Wars season 8, but no one. But they've said no, but it's totally the Bad Batch. Yeah, and I don't. And Missy, actually, I don't know. I don't know if they knew about the Mando when they're making the Clone Wars. I'm 100% sure that when they started doing the Clone Wars cartoon, they had no idea that they were going to be moving into live action Star Wars. And after the movies misfired, now they're focusing very heavily on television, because people are responding very well to the Star Wars television.
But how convenient to have such a huge Mandalorian storyline in Clone Wars, and then to just make a Mandalorian series.
Yeah, like, and look, the Clone Wars Mandalorian storyline is fucking annoying. Because you can gonk me very quickly, but I will go into stuff
Yeah,
like, so, there was a whole bunch of books written about the Mandalorians and the culture and everything written by Karen Travis, who
Okay.
invested a lot of her creative and paid work into writing the story about Mandalorians and creating the whole culture and language and everything and creating the system of what they were, because they were always very mysterious. And that got totally overruled by Disney, who were like, nope, not doing any of that. And it was very frustrating to be like, that was actually a very good explanation of what Mandalorians are. And you just went, nah.
Yeah, but couldn't that be argued for all EU material?
Sure. I mean, sure. But, also, I'm the first person to admit that Rebels, when I watched it, the first series, I was like, this is terrible. This is just for fucking kids. This is the worst. And then I watched Resistance, and I was like, no, actually, that's the worst. But Rebels is fucking amazing. Yeah, Rebels is great, and that has some great stuff. And I will agree, especially with some of the stuff in the chat, it has tied it all together in a really, really good way. And yeah, the last season of Clone Wars, which you've seen, haven't you? The Ahsoka one.
Yeah. Oh god, it was good.
Yeah, the last season of Clone Wars. And if you watch now, because you're going to go into Rebels, aren't you, Jill? You haven't watched that yet, but you're getting
I haven't watched Rebels yet.
Yeah, you're going to go into Rebels. And say the first season shat me to fucking tears, but by the end of it, when you match up the end of the Clone Wars to the end of Rebels, it asks a lot of questions and doesn't really resolve a lot of stuff, but it still matches into the Star Wars live action. And Bad Batch, I think, has the same kind of DNA, if you pardon the cloning pun, as some of the Clone Wars, but it doesn't have the spark I think it should.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also,
look,
if they could just stop fucking fan servicing people. Yeah.
I'm not a diehard Star Wars fan like you are. I don't analyze every detail of it. So I am just enjoying it.
What do you mean diehard Star Wars fan? It's not like I can just,
the one-man trivia team.
It's not like I can just reach over and pull out a fucking
Why aren't you wearing that for the show?
There we go. Okay.
Yes.
So
it's just all helmet. You're having a real hard time with green screen, dude.
It's all right. No, I like it in here. It's so shiny. Like, it's actually a really good thing. Yeah. It's not like I can just reach over and grab helmets off the shelf. Fuck. Yeah. Fair call, Jill. Fair call.
Yeah. No, I'm digging Bad Batch because I did like a lot of the clone heavy storylines in Clone Wars, like especially Rex and his crew. So it's nice to see a spin-off of some other characters and kind of follow the story as it kind of develops side by side with what was the third movie called?
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, that's 66.
60 sucks.
60 sucks. Well, you were just saying beforehand, you're really enjoying the Bard Botch. Can't wait till they get Clone Force 60 sucks.
Got to get that inhibitor chop out of your head.
Clone Force 99. Or what about Clone Force 69? Oh, wait. Which is so unfair. I mean, like, one of the things that brings me absolute great joy is just knowing that D. Bradley Baker, who voices clones, like the clones. Like,
I hope he's making a wage for every voice he does, man.
Yeah. One, which is amazing, he's not even New Zealand. He's not a New Zealander. But two, like, he just will never be out of work because there will always be a clone and he will always do it. Maybe they've got him on some kind of like special rate. It's like every time he's a clone. It's like
retainer.
It's just like $10. It's like every time he does a clone voice, it's $10, but they just ring him constantly. So he's just kind of sitting there going, oh, it's like a slot machine. Just fucking, yep, all right, another 5. Oh. Get him, fire. All right, fine, next. What else do I say? Except for the fact that now we have a new clone voice for this as well. Well, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Bad Batch. What is the Bad Batch? The Bad Batch is a batch of defective. I like that they call. Well, I don't know if they call them actually defective, but they just say they're a special force. I think Rex or one of them refers to them as defective in the first kind of introduction, which we'll throw to I think a little bit later. But they're clones that have specific genetic mutations that make them all more individual than the rest of them, but that makes them work great, which I think is a nice kind of it's a nice kind of way to introduce things as like, you know, things that make you different aren't necessarily aren't to be avoided. You know, the things that make you different make it work better in some cases like this. And I think there's a really nice, I think I've kind of, I don't know why, it's a weird bureaucratic explanation that in the Bad Batch, when you're seeing how are they folding in the old clone army into the new empire, and what does that mean? Like, what happened to all the clones? That was never explained. And what happened to the Empire's new structure, and how they went from, we have clones that just fight because they do that, to we have like recruits that fight because they want to. And how does that work? Which I think is a much more interesting narrative than the one they've got where here, go and track down Jabba's pet Rancor. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Look, it was a side quest.
Yeah.
On the way to the actual mission.
Yeah. See, and when they were originally introduced, it came in, and as I think someone said in the chat there, I think Rob said, it's just the A-team in space. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the fucking A-team in space. It's every single action movie from the 80s that put them in. And when they came in, I thought, oh, that's fun. And then I was like, they're getting their own series. And I was like, really? Did someone walk into Dave Filoni's office and say, hey, we want you to do this new property and we need you to add a new team of whatever you want to do? And he's like, how about A-team clones? Great. Done. Series commissioned. Fuck. Like, imagine having that power. It's like, Dave, what do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. I like Ahsoka, so maybe I can make her into a TV show. Yeah, right. Greenlit. Oh, okay. Yeah. And did you ever watch any of the galleries, Jill, from Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah. I watched all of them.
Yeah, you remember that one where...
I love behind the scenes stuff. It's so fascinating.
They did that one of the behind the scenes with Ahsoka, with Rosario Dawson. And they were talking to her and they was like, hey, remember that time, you know, because they were talking to her beforehand when it was still a cartoon, and that she was relating that story of like, oh, Dave Filoni was like, oh yeah, you never know, we may actually go into a live action, and she was like, yeah, whatever, Dave, like, you know. Oh no, that was no, I attribute it to Rosario Dawson. That wasn't right. It was Katie Sackhoff's character.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, most apologies. Yeah, but they're talking to Katie Sackhoff. Katie's like, yeah, whatever, sure. And then she, like, Dave Filoni rings and goes, hey, want to be in a live action? And she's like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that. So, yeah, it's interesting, I believe. No?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't think, do you find it a little bit too, like, is it a little bit too of a stereotype?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think that the Bad Batch needed to be fleshed out a bit more? Or are you happy with just this stereotype of, you've got the butch one, you've got the leader one, you've got the grumpy sniper one?
I think those stereotypes work for a reason, and you know, don't fix what ain't broke. They kind of work like well as a unit, and it just goes to show that even though factually, yes, they're all clones and they're all the same person, they do have their own individual traits, and it makes them quite likable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's a little bit of conversation going on there. It's like, oh, it's the A-team and 3 men and a baby.
4 men and a baby.
Yes.
And another man that Yeah, the spoilers? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's like you've the addition of the team that we got was Hunter, the Rambo
Yeah.
one. It's just fucking
Yes.
Rambo. Like
It does
everyone
look
just
like
understands
Rambo.
it's just fucking Rambo.
Yeah.
Wrecker
I like
is
Wrecker.
Wrecker is just old Django. Like Wrecker is kind of like when in the Mandalorian series where Boba Fett pulled his helmet off and he was old and had that scarred face and everything, and then I was like, that's just the Bad Batch. You've just made a big Tamara Morrison who worked out a lot. But that's fine because he's kind of, the dumb one. And then you've got Tech, who looks nothing like any sort of clone should ever look.
No, because he's got hair.
Yeah,
Although, wait, some of them also have
some of them do.
What is with that? What is with the clone thing, but some of them have hair and some don't? I'm sorry, but if you're a genetic clone, wouldn't you have the same gene of recessive hair?
Well, you never know. See, because they manipulate them. Remember, they're good cloners, so they can manipulate what sort of traits that they push for. Maybe they push them as like, yeah, good hair, or yeah, bad hair, or it's kind of like
That's just so cruel.
I kind of think I kind of think that the Kaminoans are just sitting there like at the character select screen on any RPG where it's just like
making designer babies.
Yeah, I'm gonna put more points into strength and less into charisma.
Oh yeah.
And that's just what they do all day. They're just like, and that one will do. Done. Like that one. See what happens there and let it run around. Which is kind of what the Bad Batches were. And did I forget anyone? No, I forgot Echo.
Yeah,
so Echo story.
Echo. Tick.
Was that an Echo? But I did like Echo's story. Echo is one of the original, kind of, what do they call them? Alpha troopers or something like that. ARC trooper. That's right. They were ARC troopers.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember that one? There was that episode all the way back in like season 1 of like, oh yeah, you guys are going to be ARC troopers. And I was like, oh shit. All right. Okay. So that's the ARC troopers. And
then Crosshair.
And Crosshair. Of course. Well, you've got to have a grumpy, silent, brooding type one or whatever. But I did like in the first episode how they kind of shook it up because they were introduced in the original Clone Wars cartoons and then they came into their own series. And in the first episode, they just immediately shook everything fucking up and poured it all out again and went, okay, this is where your drama is. And I was like, okay, cool. At least you're doing something that's a little bit fun. But yeah, I'm still trying to come to terms with the tiny New Zealand Omega. She's just sitting there trying. She's actually sitting, on wait, that side, yes, on the screen here, trying to look all sweet and calm and be like, "Come on, like me, I'm lovable," and I'm like,
no.
But
super annoying.
I had the same reaction to Ezra Bridger from Rebels.
Okay.
In that same way,
wasn't he the main character?
Yeah. But I had the same thing of like Ezra Bridger is a piece of shit and I don't want to have like I'm sick of this isn't for me. Maybe I'm just too old. I'm not a kid. And I was like, oh, I don't like that character because maybe the kids will like it. That's what it's there for. And as soon as a movie came in, I had the same reaction. But now I've got to go, but dude, she's gonna grow up. Maybe if they grow her up correctly in the seasons, if they do she doesn't end up in Simpsons world. Like Bart Simpson's 10 for 30 years is kind of like, okay, that's enough.
Without giving too much away from today's episode, she actually does have some sort of what do you call it? Like, I don't know. She's
purpose?
Special.
Purpose?
Yeah, well, I don't know if she has a purpose.
Everyone's
but
a purpose.
She's a very special clone.
I don't know if you can really give anything away. Like I've left the spoiler stuff up there because we're going to talk about stuff, and maybe we'll just clarify. Maybe we'll just clarify it with that. Jill, have you watched all of the current 9 episodes of The Bad Batch?
Yes.
And I have watched all current 9 episodes of The Bad Batch. But I also know that some people in there haven't watched any of the episodes of The Bad Batch yet. So I'll try not to go. I'll try and go there. But it's no real crazy stretch of the imagination.
I mean, basically they're just saying she's like a pure clone in the sense as the same way as Boba is
Yeah.
to Django.
Yeah, I mean, with the first episode, they just sort of turn up and they go like, "Who are you?" "Oh, hi, I'm Omega." And I look at that and I'm like, "Alpha and
Yeah.
Omega, the start and the start and the end." Like, fucking hell,
Yeah.
like that is
Yeah,
just
so Boba was the alpha
yeah.
clone,
But
and
it's
so
like
she's the Omega
yeah,
clone.
the start and the beginning and the end. Oh, it's all comes together. It's like yeah, it's not very smart if you've watched any show before. But she's like, "Oh, I'm a
Dion,
clone.
it's a cartoon.
I'm special." It's like, yeah, you're definitely a female clone of Jango Fett. Holy shit. Like, it's not a big reveal, but let's just see whether or not she's nice or she's got something else. I don't understand.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I do understand why she's special because she's got the genetic material that is
Yeah.
there. But Boba's also a clone and he's
Mm.
got the material. And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Boba's left. He's not on Camino anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the other question that it was never really answered is like, what happened to Jango Fett's body? Because genetic material is genetic material. You don't have to be alive to provide genetic material. Like there are bone harvesting and a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do to get all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting. Although there is, yes, there could be some some theories going on in the chat that maybe Amiga is force sensitive. Which is fine, but
Interesting.
I think originally she's Mephisto. She's definitely Mephisto, and that's how they get Star Wars into Marvel, and they just smoosh it all together, and that's how you get Captain Coruscant.
She's Mephisto.
She's Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Oh, you see, Fisto is just how you get He-Man into it all too. So it all makes sense. We're absolutely straight down the line there. But yeah, like, all right. I want to talk about some of the episodes.
All right, let's see if I remember them.
Yeah. All right. Okay. First one. It shat me straight away that the voice actor for Caleb Doom, which was the Padawan.
He's the one from the video game, right?
No.
Oh.
It shat me until someone actually explained it to me, and I was like, I'm so fucking dumb. And I think this has been referenced on the chat before, but let's pull it out now.
Wow.
So Caleb Doom, who is the Padawan of Deepa Balaba, is Kanan Jarrus from Rebels. You haven't watched Rebels yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Wait, voice actor or character?
Character, but it's the same voice actor. So in Rebels, Kanan Jarrus is voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr. Yes, Mr. Buffy himself is voiced by. But the thing is they used him again to voice the 12-year-old version of himself, and the whole time in that first episode, I was like, "This is a man talking like a child. What the could not have they got a better voice actor? What have they done here? Disney, you have enough money. What the fuck is going on?" Until I realized.
This Padawan character
Yeah.
in episode 1 is the same person in the same character in
Yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's set
Why
like
is the
Rebels
name
is
different?
that which is explained in Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, Well, you can't go
Alright.
after Order 66. You can't go running around going, "Hi, I'm Padawan Caleb Dunn, Doom, Dumb, whatever, Dume, Caleb Dumb."
See, because he was a redhead, I thought it was the guy from the video game.
No, it's a different one. But yeah, I'm upset with myself that it took me to a while to work out that, and I had to be informed, and I'm like, bad Dion, didn't remember his Star Wars mythology. But everything else I kind of liked about the episode. And,
Yeah, I liked it.
And then they got to Onderon and they ran into Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
And if there's one person that I want them to stop trying to make happen, it's Saw Gerrera. I fucking hate that character. And he's in everything.
They're like, hey, guess what, guys? It's Star Wars.
Yeah, we've got Saw Gerrera. And I'm like, why? He's a shit character. He was like, I mean, if there's one kind of weird scenery chewing addition to Rogue One, it was Saw Gerrera with Forrest Whitaker just fucking doing weird shit on screen. and it just didn't make any sense. And every time, and they're like, no, we'll explain it in the Clone Wars. And then they brought it through the Clone Wars. I'm like, no, he's still shit. Like, oh, but he's a freedom fighter who takes risks. I'm like, still shit.
No.
You know, have someone cool. There's so many characters in Star Wars that were great. Like people who people who were in the Empire who defected to become rebels, you know, people who, you know, were great captains or took whole fleets away and stuff. There's so much shit that they could have done, but they just every time he turns up, I'm like, why? Why are you here? I don't care about you. Just fuck off. Boo hoo hoo. Your sister died, and that's why you have to fight against the Empire.
Yeah, so same with everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Throw a rock and someone would be killed by the Empire and you're getting revenge. Like, I'm not making a lot of cohesive
I mean,
sense.
I like, you know, I liked it in the first episode. They covered a lot of ground, you know. They covered Order 66. They covered the change from the the clone army to the Republic army to the Empire. They had a whole bunch of stuff going on real fast. Like shit was moving real fast, and everyone was kind of confused about everything. And it was like, cool. This is really interesting. Like how they're doing these changes. These are doing, you know, making like what is an insurgent? Why are people getting shot now? You know, you can turn in Imperial credits. Like there's all this stuff going on. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. But one of the thing I thought was the good turn, which was getting Crosshair over to side with the Empire because of his inhibitor chip. I love that they always call this, oh, it's his inhibitor chip. And the reason the inhibitor chips don't work on these clones is because they're you know, they're different. Except maybe Crosshair's not very different. Maybe he was always just an asshole.
I think it's just to do with like maybe how strong the programming is in the chip, that like even though they are different, they still have the chip, and it was still supposed to be guaranteed that they would switch sides when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Because there is the episode where Wrecker hits his head and then starts to switch over.
Yeah.
And then they had to go and get all the chips removed.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
so they could still defect.
Yeah, I like that they made it a little bit more ambiguous about whether or not Crosshair really wants to defect or if he's happy with that. Like, I mean, it could be it could be a very interesting storyline to go. Maybe eventually they finally catch Crosshair, they put him in the machine, they take the chip out, and he's like, "Fuck you guys, I want to kill you anyway," you know, because you didn't do it right. That could be cool. Although Rob does point out that Wrecker hits his head in a lot of episodes. In fact, that's kind of his thing. Remember that one where he just has fights with things like everything?
Too many hits.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of like, it's a good thing that it sets up a lot of stuff in the first episode, and then it's basically, you know, team on the run.
Yeah.
You know, where do they go? What do they do? How do they move around stuff? And that just allows them to throw in cameo after cameo after cameo of different stuff.
Yeah, like the clone that lives with the Twi'lek on that other country, other planet.
Yep, having to run into, you know, Fennec Shand, that very cool character.
Oh, okay, yes, I was excited that Fennec is in this.
Yeah, do you think she was a good addition? Because that's another one that's just come out of left field, you know. And I don't know why it not irritates me. I don't know why it makes me feel weird that like I can, you know, Star Wars is literally famous for that. Who's that character in the background there? We don't know. Let's create entire mythology about them. We won't tell anyone. And then suddenly they're more popular than God. Like, and yet when they specifically come in and they go, hey, here's a really good actress or actor that can, you know, do nice things, and we're going to create a character, and they're a little bit cool and mysterious, I just get very like, really? Are they?
Any opportunity to put Ming-Na Wen in something, I'm happy because she is badass.
She is a
I
badass.
love Ming-Na.
Yeah, she is a badass. But like, what's that fine line between introducing new characters and paying service to old characters? You know, so
yeah.
Well,
who do you want to see?
Yeah,
who's
like
an old character you want to see?
I mean, but some of it's already been done in Clone Wars, and this is the thing. I don't want to
Okay.
cross pollute the waters. Like I think there's some highlights from Clone Wars that I would say I am excited to have come back. Which, without giving too much away, I really like Cad Bane. He was a cool addition to Clone Wars, and I
Well,
think
we've already been talking about today's episode, so why not just say Cad Bane's in today's episode?
well, but he's also in the one.
He was
before-
at the end of the
week.
last one,
Yeah, he's
too.
in there. But I mean, having that character come over in a crossover is fine. Although I've sort of go, how would they make that live action if they put him back in? But there's other characters that are there, like Aura Singh, who's always been around. Again, someone that was just in one frame. Like, oh yeah, that's cool, bounty hunter. That looks visually interesting. We'll just put her in a frame, and then she suddenly has the same kind of. They had the same kind of thing where they built a narrative around her. But in this one, I'm just kind of like, you've already got too many new characters. Don't do a lot of new characters. But also, if we have some old characters, like because they already did that with the Rancor one.
Oh, with
Yeah.
Fortuna.
Yeah, like well, not with Bib Fortuna, like having the Rancor come in as that one episode where it's a baby Rancor, and the Rancor was the one from Jabba's palace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was some continuity stuff there.
Muchi. Okay, and
Yeah,
here's something-
Moochie. Moochie.
Yeah, Rob makes a good point. Yes, I know Aura Singh was killed off screen, as we heard in the Solo movie. That's fine, but is anyone ever really dead in Star Wars? No. We learnt that because somehow the Emperor returned.
Yeah. I saw
Somehow.
some meme the other day, and it was like, did they kill Palpatine? It's like, yep. Good job, buddy.
I gotta say something about that. Like, I think that was one of the low points so far of this this season is putting fucking Muchi, the young Rancor, in. And if you wonder where the name Muchi comes from, go back and watch go back and watch the Return of the Jedi and watch the Rancor Keeper. And don't hate me because I know his name, Malakili. Yes, but it sounds weirdly like that's what he's calling it through the thing because he's just speaking gibberish.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like, what? You've just pulled out this weird soundbite, made a name, and gone, that's what it's called. The Rancor's name is Muchi. And now I can no longer, look at that Rancor and call it Muchi. And I'm like, no, fuck this. This is bad. I have like a toy of a Rancor. I have a Rancor toy. Not here, somewhere else. I can't just put my hand
You're
on
going to call it Moochie now?
No, never going to fucking call it Moochie. You can get fucked. I'm not calling that thing Moochie. I don't want you to make it, funny. Although they could do a thing where the Rancor and Wrecker come back together again and meet up and like each other. That could be kind of funny. No. But yeah. Was there any, well, my mouse has just died, so I can't click on anything. Is there any... actor or character that's come into the Bad Batch that you have enjoyed? Tarkin? Do you love a bit of Tarkin?
Which one's Tarkin?
Tarkin.
Yeah, which one's that?
He's Admiral Tarkin, the guy from the front one, the evil guy. Do you remember the very first Star Wars movie, which is like, "Hello, Your Highness," the kind of English gentleman? No?
Don't really pay attention to those guys.
Fair enough.
They're all like, they're all stuck up British dudes.
Kind of, yeah. That's really what, that's really what Tarkin is. Tarkin is a piece. Is right, yeah, Casper. Tarkin is a piece of shit. But that's what he is. He's kind of the imperialist, British, military commander who doesn't give a shit. It's like, yes, we'll just bomb the civilians. We don't need them. We need the assets. It's vital to the empire. Blah blah blah. That's the kind of, thing that we miss there. But yes, Tarkin is.
They had those girls that Ahsoka was friends with on Kaminoa.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is that the right word?
I don't know what those was. That's like Trace and Rafa Martez.
Yes.
Again, two characters.
Is that the name of the planet? Did I get it right?
No, I don't know
What's
which
it
one you're
called?
on. Don't know which. I don't know what.
The city planet,
Planet.
the one where the Jedi are. What's that
Oh,
planet?
Coruscant.
Coruscant. That's it.
Coruscant.
Fuck, there's too many names.
I
Too
know.
many names to remember.
Yeah, this is why you need an outsourced brain that just has all
Yeah.
of that stuff. So yeah, I think they're from Coruscant, which was kind of cool. Or Coruscant.
Croissant.
Croissant. From Coruscant.
Yes, croissant. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually not too bad. Like I kind of when they came in, I was like, hang on a second, you guys are all right. I'm trying to figure it. Did you enjoy Sid?
Meh.
Nah. Some sort of Trandoshan. No.
I'm like, oh, it's Rhea Perlman. Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fine. Yeah. Yeah. That's true, Casper. Just turn Star Wars into Space New Zealand. Should go to the planet Wellington.
Yeah.
Well, they've got Camino. Where else were they? No, I've lost it out there. Are you excited with where they're going to go?
I'm curious as to where they're going to go. I'm like, obviously, they're not just going to, keep doing bounties and stuff to make money to get around. Like, what's the end game?
What's
for
the
these
end game?
guys? Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, obviously the end game is Order 67. But we just don't know what Order 67 is.
Can't we just skip to Order 69?
No.
Or is
No,
that
that's the
porn?
Kung Pao chicken.
The what?
Order 69 is the Kung Pao chicken. Order 67 is the deep fried lamb backstrap.
Fucking hell. Just straight out of the block there. Hello, Quinny.
Hi.
It's you may be late, but you're here with us now to give us.
You may be late, but you shit.
Give us this quality content. We were talking about where all like. Have you watched the latest episode, Quinny?
I have.
Oh, you did.
Yes, that's why I was so late.
Oh, right, because you were watching the latest episode.
No.
Have you liked all of the cameos of people coming in? And is there any new characters you just want to get rid of, Omega? If she could just be removed.
Leave Omega alone.
Omega took my baby.
Oh, God. No, no one took my baby. I mean, honestly, I'm really, really actually interested to see the Kaminoans coming around and having a bit more to do and learn a bit more about them.
They're
I'm
actually
like, oh,
characters.
Okay, cool.
They've got agency. They do stuff. They're not just like, we're going to walk slowly through the things with our long necks.
Yes.
They can't go any faster. They'll just go.
No, as
They're
Jill
like a giraffe.
as Jill has said, is Camino is just Space Wellington.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice and all, but it rains a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're trying to wonder where they're going to go next, and I think
I'm hoping that by the end of this series, because depending on where we are in the timeline, we could very easily see. I mean, now that they've brought him up, they've talked about him. Surely they've got to bring in Alpha.
You mean Boba?
Boba
Yeah.
tea.
Boba
Yes,
tea.
yeah.
Which
Like,
just means more
surely
work
that's
for
where the-
Tamara Morrison to turn up and be like, "Hey, I'm back."
Well, the shit part about it is that it's just going to be Dee Bradley Baker
69.
again. It's just going to be like, okay, I'm doing a slightly different accent this time. Yes, I'm doing a slightly different accent this time. Yes, I'm doing a slightly different accent.
Oh, so we've been through Dee Bradley Baker's $10 every voice. Still a millionaire.
Like at the end of every fucking episode, he's just be like, "Give me the money,
Yes.
pour
Ooh,
it onto me."
That's 17 characters in this one. Ma, la, la, la.
Yeah. Okay, Rob's saying that Boba's a teenager at this point in time.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah,
but at
probably.
the same time,
Established-
like he
established in
could
the
still
Clone
have got.
Wars.
I want to see him get the suit.
Mm.
Like, where
Boba
does he
getting the
get his
suit?
suit of armor from?
It was his dad's.
Not all of it, though.
What?
Like from what we've seen, he only got the helmet
No. He has the
after
rest
his
of it.
dad's head dropped out of it.
Hey, he didn't pick the helmet up and the head falls out. You see in the shadow of the thing afterwards, the head separates from the helmet. I know this stuff. Yeah, well, Predator Gang said maybe he's off on Rumspringa.
Rob Springer.
Rob Springer.
Um,
Clone Springer.
I'm in for it. I don't know. I don't know what he's like. I would. Okay, so he's got the outfit, but hasn't worn it yet. We've never seen him wear it in any of the other series. So I would like to see, you know, maybe him become involved, and if they get Daniel Logan in to do the voice, yeah, cool.
Yeah, maybe. I'm okay
That's-
with it. Are you enjoying Clone Wars? Sorry, the Bad Batch. Quinny?
There's your Freudian slip.
Clone Wars season 9. Is that what we got to?
I am. Yeah, whatever it is, because there was that weird season that, you know, like that weird half season that never showed up. I don't know. Look, yes, I am enjoying it. But there are a lot of episodes where I come away from it going, okay, what was that for?
Yeah, it like I mean,
A little bit of filler in like 9 episodes. There is a bit of filler.
I know that Dave Filoni is involved with it. I also know that he's got other shit to do. So he may not have the kind of dab hand overarching kind of, you know, interest in it. And I do know that if it is created by Dave Filoni, that's fine. But he's so far only written 1 episode with someone else.
Yeah, right.
So
maybe he's just setting up through lines for like whatever other series is coming next.
It's always a little bit of a problem when you see someone who's like, this episode is written by this person and this person and this person and this person, which means maybe someone just walked in a room. So like, this has got to happen, 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 fill it out.
Yeah.
Walks out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. No worries.
Yeah.
Enjoy The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, or 2, whatever you're doing right now.
Whatever the fuck it is, yeah. Like I feel like, yeah, there's some real filler shit in there, but now I have that feeling that maybe, just maybe, anything that we see here could pay off later. Like, you know, you could be seeing characters here who then will show up in, you know, as you say, Boba Fett, Book of, you know, whatever, or, you know, I feel like there's now the capacity for, you know, a very young Mandalorian to show up, you know.
What, Din Djarin or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Imagine, because by the timeline, he should be what?
Din Djarin was already adopted by the Death Watch during the Clone Wars, so he would be a teenage helmet fascist.
How is he the same age as Boba though? When Boba looks like as old as the hills in Mando.
Well, have you ever been into a Sarlacc, Jill?
Yes.
I can't say I have.
Once you dip the toe in the Sarlacc, it does age a person. Like,
I see.
yeah.
Sorry, I like the chat. I think we need more filler to slowly like Omega more.
I don't
More
know.
episodes.
I can't wait for the vertical integration to casually serve me a Nerf bow and arrow that looks like Omegas because.
Oh,
you
it's
want it,
kinda
don't you?
cool, isn't it?
No, that's just
Yeah.
bullshit. As soon as it came on screen, I am like, that's a product. Like, you know, like
It is
straight away.
perfectly sized for a child.
Yeah. It's like a perfectly sized Nerf bow and arrow because you know what? I've seen those Nerf bow and arrows.
They already have them. Didn't they have a
Yes.
Hunger Games branded one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just went,
Yeah.
that is a repaint, and I can't believe that someone just went, yeah, we'll just throw that in. Like that felt
Hey
felt
guys,
like
we still have that die. Let's make some more.
So, like Predicanga says, are you the only one that doesn't mind Omega? I don't mind her. Like the last few episodes, she's grown on me. The first couple, I was like, oh Jesus Christ!
I groan when I
Yeah.
see Omega.
Like now that she seems to be slightly more capable, you know, she's got the bow and arrow, and she's
Yeah, I
not
think
just
like
screaming.
the guy's actually taking time to teach her stuff. Because in the beginning, it was like, "What's this? What's this? What's this?" Like, put
Yeah.
the child back. Like,
Mm.
And it's kind
Yeah.
of strange. Like, it's strange that they have an immediate, somewhat bond of this. Like, I mean, Clone Force 99, I don't understand what their point was or what they're doing. Do they just create their own missions? It kind of was that thing. It's like, oh, yeah, they just do what they do. And it's like, yeah, but they've got to have some idea about what they're doing. And I don't
Yeah, there
really
has to be a
get
directive.
why their mission has been to protect this person without a directive. Like, it could have been better if it was just a bit better served of like, actually, guys, you need to do something about this one's very important.
Their family.
Yeah. Fast and Furious in space.
Yeah. One thing I will say about the series that I found really interesting / bizarre, it's so goddamn dark, like visually.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think? The second episode was really dark. It was the one where they had the lights out and they had to go to the planet where they found.
There was like a thing that lived underground and it glowed
the
when
third
it ate
episode.
power and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah.
That one was super dark to the point where I actually had to crank up the brightness on my TV because I couldn't see what the fuck was going on. But even the one last night, I was looking at it going, like, in terms of the rest of the series, of, you know, Clone Wars and everything, it's got a really dark style. You know, there's a lot of stuff where it's mostly dark and things are only lit by the lights of landing ships and stuff like that. I was like, they're going for a much more kind of noirish sort of vibe to it, and I dig that. I'm into it.
Yeah, like I have to say the animation in this is stunning, and if you ever want a comparison to just go back and watch the original Clone Wars movie.
Oh wow,
cartoon movie. Yeah, the Clone Wars cartoon, which is at the time, even then, it was amazing.
Yeah,
but then you flash forward and you go, holy shit, the technical capacity has gotten so much better. And I actually got to say, it was the end of last week's episode where I remember it was after Hunter had been knocked unconscious, and then when he woke up and they did that point of view shot, the shots of point of view, like the lapsing in of consciousness, that whole sequence of his point of view from inside the helmet and then carrying through, I actually kind of went, holy shit, that's really cinematic. That's really well done. And it's just kind of like, damn, you guys are just getting better. Like the difference between the volume and these cartoons is just creeping towards each other every day. And eventually we'll just be watching it going, oh, wait, it's not live action?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what's the point of having actors anymore when you can just animate everything?
Well,
especially when you see like the crazy animation from like Love, Death and Robots, and like how realistic some of that stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched an ad today. It was for one of those stupid like pay to win video game stuff, and it was like this elfish priestess who was talking to a big monster orc guy and saying, hey, come on, we've got to go do some stuff. And I for the first, I don't know, 5 seconds, I was looking at the elvish princess going, is that a person? Or is it like it was just weird enough, and her face was kind of just strange enough that I went, that could actually just be a weird looking person. And then I spent a little while and went, oh, no, that's CGI. Right. Okay. And then when the big monster came out, I went, oh, okay, the whole thing's CGI. But fuck, I was like, wow, that's quite surprising. But yeah, like I think we are getting closer. We're getting a lot closer to, just have it all live, have it all, or have it all CGI or whatever. But it always, when you do, you miss out on that thing, that thing of an actor.
Yeah, the human element.
And I think that's perhaps my biggest complaint about it. It's just that it's one fucking guy.
Sometimes he has hair and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah. Sorry, I just dropped out and it was great.
Much like Quinny. Sometimes he has hair and sometimes he doesn't. And it's just jarring when you see one or the other.
Yeah.
When you're comparing them next to each other. It's like,
I'd love to see Quinny with a big dirty mullet.
Oh, there are photos.
Oh, Jill, have I got a photo for you? Actually, it's very specifically at a PAX panel we did a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, I was there.
You were at that PAX
panel. You were there. You remember that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was beautiful.
Yeah, but no, there are real photos of me with a big old dirty mullet that was like chocolate brown with a white stripe down the middle of it, because I was a fashion thing. Fuck only knows what I was doing. Oh, good. Somebody wants us to become famous. I should totally click on that.
One.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Follows.com.
Oh yeah, super exciting. I'm just trying to think, like, like the visuals of it. The as you say, D, the more cinematic it gets. In that last episode, I did have some vague thoughts of, like, they're showing all the cloning tanks, and I'm not sure what was in them, but there was one that I thought looked a bit like Nien Num.
Yeah, right.
And I I love the idea that Nien Num is actually a clone. So that's why you get Nien Num and Tien Num and 11 Num.
No, look, 11 Num and 55 Num and 11
You have to
Num.
gonk, you guys. What's going on?
You can't say
Gonk
that.
is a character in this.
I know.
Before you,
Gonk hide.
before you got here, there was a lot of instances of Jill just glazing over and gonking out while I'm rambling along, and everyone's like, "Okay, he's gone now." Like, he gone down that road.
Yeah, like Casper says Snoke, and that's kind of what I was wondering. Like, and I really like the idea that maybe what they're setting up in here can then play into something else. Because, like, was it Mandalorian, we saw some evidence of there being Snoke clones or cloning facilities. Wasn't that what Giancarlo Esposito was doing?
Kind of, yeah. Like, they haven't really explained exactly what they're doing or why they need the child or any of that sort of stuff. But there is there was a little bit of a link to the fact that they're continuing the cloning processes, and, like, it's quite well established that Palpatine had been trying, like, the whole Heir to the Empire official 1990 sequel to Star Wars is literally about clones. Yeah. Well, the one back there is literally about a clone of a Jedi Master who went mad. And it was Palpatine's experimentation into cloning. That's always been part of it. It's just that because it kind of got thrown in there by that last movie, is like, somehow Palpatine returned. It's like, no, he always was cloning himself.
Yeah.
That's literally part of a lot of the EU storylines, is the fact that Palpatine just won't fucking die because
the European Union.
Yeah. Yeah, have you seen it? We're on our 7th Boris Johnson.
That explains why the hair's so fucking manic.
He just punched him out. And he's like, "Whoa, fuck!"
Everyone's looking at it, going, "I'm pretty sure the signal's degrading, guys."
It's like when you make a photocopy of a photocopy.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
And somewhere around
Back
there
to
is
the source, guys.
Yeah, there's a Boris Johnson Omega who's also a female.
No.
Oh. But yeah, look, I mean, it's interesting how they're doing. They're sort of making this series. I just kind of like, is it the right format to be giving us all this stuff? Because I don't know, and honestly, I don't know if I actually love all of the Bad Batch. I don't
As
actually.
in the characters?
Yeah, I think they're not, because they're just stereotypes. And this is the thing. It's like, oh, we're doing A-Team in space. Great. But the great thing about it is every single character in the A-Team has their own kind of bit.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I find that there's a disconnect between Wrecker is easy to like because he's the same.
Yeah.
Tech is kind of easy to like because he's also the same.
But Tech and Echo are almost the kind of the
forgettable
same.
one.
Yeah, but Tech and Echo are too similar,
Yeah.
and Hunter isn't doing anything to make him the reason why he's the leader.
No.
He's just the Red Ranger. That's it.
He's just-
he's
Doesn't
generic
really do anything. He's
mullet
just the
hero
leader.
guy.
Yeah. Mullet hero guy. And yeah, that's why I kind of go, the most interesting ones are the traitor turned crosshair hunter person that I think is fine. It's kind of good.
Yes,
That's,
he's got a
He's got a
headband.
yes, but he's got a headband and a knife.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. And when they were introduced, they were kind of like, hey, here's a very action oriented, no talking, don't think too much. We just make weird shit happen because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, but you there's a whole series focused around these guys. And then the first thing you've done is introduce a separate character and go along with them. It's like, tell me more about the
Yeah.
Bad Batch. Like, should we not know what
Yeah.
things have been done?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would have perhaps been a sensible thing. And I think that's why they've now had to add in all these other characters. I mean, I'm sure it was always in the plan, You don't start an animated series like this, 3 episodes and go, oh shit, I guess we'd better add some characters in. This has all been planned a long way in advance, but by bringing in Bane and
Moochie, the Rancor.
Ruchi, yeah. It's a very crucial episode.
Yeah, that one I had real problems with.
We can make Wrecker and
Real
Moochie
fucking
fight.
problems. So dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, like bringing in Bane and bringing in, Fennec, who I really like and I'm intrigued by. I keep on feeling like, okay, it's going to be an opportunity to bring in a whole bunch of new characters, and I expect to see in Ahsoka or and I do like the idea that at any point in time they could bring, because they're in an interesting part of the timeline, they can bring in whoever the fuck they want. You can bring in a Darth Maul. I'm sure he's still kicking around out there somewhere, clomping around on his big metal legs.
Is he though? Well, yeah, I know. See, and again,
timelines wise, yes, he is.
Yeah. I love this though, also because one of the most interesting things, and it's interesting that they just kind of pulled the pin immediately after Solo. Like they established some shit in Solo that everyone else has to fix. Like by establishing that Darth Maul is still around, 5 to 10 years. I think it's about 10 years before Han Solo's introduced, makes it difficult for that sort of timing.
What do you mean? So as in before Han Solo, as in the Harrison Ford Solo?
Yeah. So Harrison Ford Solo has all that set up in the character Solo. I think the character Solo is about 20 and he's about 30 there is probably a definitive time age thing there. But by establishing who is still alive, it's real difficult. And also
it is, but also like we've seen his end. Like we know what happens to Darth Maul at the end. And
but do they?
Well, and now we've also got to fit it all in with fucking the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I feel like all of these things can fit into something like a much bigger expanded universe.
An expanded universe? You mean there's more than just the films? And now it all actually has to make sense and be tied together, and people are bound by the strictures that have been put in place, even the ones that are bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I would hate to have that as your thing that you have to do, of going, right, you have to write within this tiny section. You have got precisely 5 years from here to here where you can do stuff. You can't use this character, this character, this character, this character, or this character because they may be dead.
Look, I'm just going to put this out there. If Filoni can do the entire of Clone Wars without Anakin and Grievous ever having met because of that one line where he's like, I thought you were shorter.
Yeah.
Then he can do anything.
At a last minute rewrite, he's like, yeah, we'll just put this line in there. And everyone went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Canonically. Ow. Yeah. They weren't allowed to have any meetings. So it sucked. Limitations.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes limitations lead to great stuff. Other times limitations lead to dumb lines.
Or shit storylines.
Yeah. Okay. How many more episodes do we have? Do we know?
I believe the first season now has there's only 14 in total. So we only have another 6 before we have to...
16, says Casper.
Really? Oh, 14? 16. It's 16 episodes. I've only got 14 on my list. Maybe we can fight about it.
Maybe that's not including the opening movie length one.
That includes it, but hey, I don't know. Maybe there are 16 and maybe they're just pulling it. Whatever's in the scheduling. I think I would rather go off the actual scheduling.
Right.
Yes. Okay, fine.
The Bad Batch premiered on May 4th, 2021 and will consist of 16 episodes.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay.
7 episodes left.
Yes.
So 7 episodes. Okay. So we're halfway through. We're at the halfway through point. And that's why I am going to rate it 10 out of 100. Sorry, I said I wouldn't rate it at the start. We're not doing ratings or anything, but
Okay.
And it was unfair. It's unfair to rate it on that that whole schedule. We haven't seen it all yet. It could be fucking
I rate it
amazing.
better than Resistance. And
the worst Star Wars animated thing if you don't include Ewoks.
no, actually, you know what I saw today that blew my fucking mind.
Ewoks.
And I tweeted about it, so anyone who follows the Twitter is probably have seen it. But I decided, okay, I'm going to look at some of those old droids cartoons, and they're not good. I'm not going to lie to you, they're terrible.
None of
But
them.
there is an episode, and I think it's episode 8. It's called I think it's the. Hang on, let me find. I want to get it right because I know you fucking Star Wars nerds are going to get me wrong. Episodes.
Which episode?
Okay. Star Wars droids. Wikipedia.
The Revenge of Kylo Ren.
The Revenge of Kylo Ren.
Kybo Ren.
Kylo Ren. I'm sorry, but did J.J. Abrams just fucking go, what's some Star Wars? And that'll do. Fuck it.
Oh my god.
Most likely they gave, okay, so Steve Sansweet, who was the keeper of the lore by basically just knowing fucking everything for years.
Yeah.
Like, he had the biggest Star Wars collection in the world and he just basically knew everything. He's famous for having, books of going, here is, if you're a
He's
writer.
all the names.
Yeah, if you're a writer or you're someone he's famous for going, here's your cross-reference guide, and just throwing it on the table and go,
Right.
pick shit out.
Because, I just looked at that and went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching it, years ago, and there was an episode in there where they're talking about, taking their speeder to the Bunta speeder race. And I was like, hang on, in episode 1, the speeder race there is the Bunta Eve. And I was like, holy shit, somebody actually looked into this and went, hang on, this is a speeder race that happens the day before the Bunta speeder race.
Oh.
And I was like, that's really fucking cool. But now I'm looking at this going, Kybo Ren, really?
Look, there's so much stuff.
The off-brand one.
Yeah, exactly. This is
the one you
Kybo.
get from Wish.
I love it.
Kybo Ren, now with lightsaber.
Yeah. And it comes out and it's got the cross at the top.
Yeah.
Jesus saber.
Lightsaber.
I am so excited for this toy. Dion's going to get it in the black series, but it's only going to come in very dark grey.
That's honestly when I went to. I was in Turkey and I came across Turkish Star Wars figures. I was very excited.
You've seen Turkish Star Wars, haven't you?
I bought some Turkish. I actually have somewhere. I don't know where the fuck they are now. I was in Turkey and I went into a dollar store and passed and it was like, Star Wars. I was kind of like, this looks like the original Star Wars toys from the 90s that they've somehow gotten the molds of and made half-assed versions of. And I was like, this is great. I bought some. I was like, these are great. Knockoff Turkish Star Wars toys was kind of exciting.
Yes, but as anyone knows who's ever been a Star Wars fan, Turkish Star Wars, the actual movie that is out there, is a special magical thing.
It's all special magical things. God.
You're a special magical thing.
What about, okay, well, I'm done with the beard bit.
Hey, you're done with this shit. You're out.
I'm done with the Bad Batch. I got nothing else I can really say about it apart from I'm gonna keep watching, but I'm not really holding my breath. Am I excited for the Book of Boba Fett? No. Am I excited for Ahsoka? Maybe. Do I want to see Obi-Wan? I hope they don't fuck that up. That's basically the only one.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't fuck up Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
People.
I mean, if he doesn't start the first series by going, hello there.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Come on. Honestly, he's got to be like, hello there.
Did you see the interview that he did with fucking Jinjarin, Pedro Pascal?
So Obi-Wan and Pedro Pascal.
Oh, the actors on actors.
Yeah.
Or Ewan
I haven't
McGregor.
watched it.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor and Pedro Pascal, and they start talking about shit, and then they're like half a sentence in, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't talk about that."
Yeah,
Oh,
we
no.
aren't allowed to see stuff, and everyone went,
Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine that? Your two gay space dads, the Mandalorian and Obi-Wan and Baby Yoda, all hanging out on just being like, just having a little gay space adventure. That'd be amazing.
2 men and a little Yoda.
2 men and a baby Yoda. I mean, yeah, okay. And Casper makes a good point. We have to like Ahsoka because Ahsoka needs to. I think it actually has to have a reference to Thrawn in it. And if we get a live action Admiral Thrawn, then everyone will get super excited.
Yeah, and then we
Finally.
may even finally get the end of Ezra's story as well.
Yeah, well, whatever happened to Ezra Bridger? And, funnily enough, Freddie Prinze Jr. looks a lot like Ezra Bridger. That's how you get everyone in together.
I'm like, why do we want Freddie Prinze Jr.? He was the voice of
Kanan Jarrus. I know, but last time we saw Ezra Bridger, he was a like a young 20-year-old, and then disappeared for wherever he's gone. And the next time we see him, he would probably be about the same age as Kanan Jarrus. And Kanan Jarrus, as we all know, is dead.
Yes, Kanan is.
Is what? We broke Quinny. Excellent. So
yeah,
you're back
no.
now.
I was just saying that it was interesting seeing Kanan show up in the first episode.
Yeah, we went through that. But who do you want to play Thrawn? I want everyone to play Thrawn. There was the guy
out there.
Yeah, sorry. It's yes. Lars Mikkelsen does the voice of Thrawn, and I think he could play an older Thrawn. But if you don't know who he is, the last thing I saw him in was The Witcher, and he plays one of the evil sorcerer people, like the nasty.
And I assume he's related to Mads.
Probably. People may just they've got the same last name, and they both work in Hollywood, so
yeah,
who
Mads
knows?
Mikkelsen is his brother.
Cool.
And yes, there are already pictures of him blue.
Of him blue.
Yeah,
Well,
like somebody's like, you reckon he
edited
could play Thrawn? Yes.
Yeah,
They
right.
already had Mads in Star Wars too. I wish he had a better role than just being in Rogue One.
Yeah, agreed. Like I would have gone with Mads if he hadn't shown up in Rogue One.
Yeah.
In Mad One.
Yeah. Who do you want to see
And
play?
okay, what are we excited at all for the other series? Fucking what's his name? The dude from Rogue One, I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Cassian Andor.
Andor.
Absolutely, because he come on, okay. The two people in Star Wars who are good people but also do bad things is Han Solo and Cassian Andor. Because remember the introduction.
I would also argue that what's his name who showed up in this one? Ghost Dog. Fuck, I'm having a thing where I can't remember anyone's name.
Lawrence Fishburne.
No.
I said Forrest Whitaker. Saw Gerrera. No, we've been through the Saw Gerrera thing. I hate Saw Gerrera. Get rid of him. Stop trying to make him happen.
Right,
He's shit.
fair enough. Cool, backing off.
But he didn't do anything in this. Okay, the two characters that were introduced that did bad things for whatever reason that made them kind of cool badasses was Han Solo because he shot fucking Greedo and he shot first, and that's exactly what happened. And also Cassian Andor, because Cassian Andor also just shoots someone in the back and then escapes. It's like, okay, these are the two morally grey people. Like, I know that everyone else is like, oh, Saw Gerrera, he's doing bad things for the right reasons. But Han Solo shoots someone in a bar.
And
Cassian Andor shoots someone in the back. And then everyone just goes along with him and go, oh, Cassian, he's a great agent. Like, let's kind of not focus on him too much. I'm like, he just shot someone in the back.
Yeah. And because he thought they were a coward and they were going to give him away.
Yeah, like my intelligent asset is starting to panic. I'll just burn that asset. Thank you very much. Bang, shoot him in the back. Move on.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to see a Star Wars show about that guy? Yeah, I do. And I really hope it's not aimed for kids where they're like, we can't have them do that bad thing. I'm like, no, please have them do bad things. Like Evil Spy. I want them to make a Cassian Andor show about how the rebellion would like look as if the Empire were good. Do terrorist shit in the sense that, sure, like that would be a nice way to do it. Are we going to get that? No, because the mouse isn't going to let that happen.
Also, at the moment, I mean, I think there is a danger in painting, essentially leftist freedom fighters as terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, do you really want them to be going, oh, Antifa are an organized organization that, are really quite bad and do terrible things in the service of being progressive and good?
Yeah,
That's a narrative I'm uncomfortable with. Sorry, Dave.
Take a look at what happened this week in Australian media and freedom of speech, and people being arrested by anti-terrorist units.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just think it's interesting.
I think
to present a character
interesting
in a different way. I mean, because you've all seen the fake reports of like the Death Star blowing up, but as what is reported via the Imperial News Network.
No, I haven't.
Haven't you? You can look that one up. Yeah, like look at the Imperial News Network broadcast, which is all like, oh my god, How do we cover that one up? Oh, Alderaan blew up for an unexpected reason.
Because
yeah, it's like tragedy. It's like, the planet blew up. We don't know why. Anyway, moving on.
Here's some Ewoks dancing. Bye.
Oh god. Well, actually, do you want to go see the Ewoks? Or like is there any fan service people you want to see show up in Bad Batch?
I think I've already gone mine. Boba Fett.
Just Boba Fett.
I'd like to see them deal with the whole Alpha / Omega situation.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to come to that.
Yeah. It'd be fun to see a couple of the other bounty hunters. I think there are so many more interesting characters that are introduced in things like The Mandalorian, that they can, if they want to, explore those characters that were live action now in animation as well. Like, I like the idea of just letting things bleed across both ways.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was excited to see Saw Gerrera. I'm like, that's cool. That's an animated dude, of a live action dude. He's the dude who's playing a dude.
Do you know who I want to see show up in the Bad Batch?
I don't know.
I think it's actually, I want to see everyone in the background show up, but the one person, because this is the right place to do it. You can't just flesh stories out in live action and stuff. Have already been there, but like a background. If background characters are going to come into this, I want to see Wilro Hood. And Wilro Hood is a cult character, Jill. Just in case you don't know,
I don't.
No, you don't. Wilro Hood is a guy in an orange jumpsuit who is carrying what was then an ice cream maker, but but has now been established in the Mandalorian as canon as the secure box of valuable things, which was another thing. But Wilro Hood has a backstory. How did he get to Cloud City? What was in the box? Like, why can we not know?
Was it a bunch of Beskar that he was trying to save for somebody else?
Yeah, was he the original one? Like, oh my god, there's so many stories that we could do there, or flesh out a whole bunch of the people at the Mos Eisley Cantina, because they did do the book Tales from the Cantina.
Love those.
Is great.
Yeah,
Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. The book is great because it picks every alien that
every tiny
up.
Little character and then gives them a full expansive thing, as is Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Yeah, but Tales from Jabba's Palace can't work anymore because Boba Fett killed Bib Fortuna. Now.
Yeah, but there were so many fun things in there, like the Bomar monks that they're in. You see them briefly in one shot that there are these spider things that have brains in jars. Like, turns out that Jabba's palace is actually a monastery that he's just taken over, and there are these monks wandering around who have given up their entire worldly beings and are now just pure thought, a brain in a jar. And they're very peaceful. Nobody really pays any attention to them until somebody fucks up, and then they kill them and take their brain.
Oh god. Okay.
Yes, it's very, very entertaining.
Very horror story. We like all that.
Yes.
Well, cool. I think that's about it for Friday. It's a long Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It
everyone.
has been fun.
Thanks for joining in the chat. Oh, fuck off, Rob. That's a shit joke. Kryptonitis.
Wow.
Some
very, very aggressive things there.
Why not? No. It's just a bit of, sorry, it may have come off harsher than I want. Sorry, Rob. It was fine.
I was going to say, Jesus, dude.
Got me all riled up now, Quinny. What are you doing?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah. What are we doing next week? Oh, there you go. Fuck.
Actually, a little bit of a link for that for Casper. I watched an episode of Avatar during this week, And who was the director of that episode?
Dave Filoni?
Dave fucking Filoni.
Wow.
Was he?
Yeah.
Interesting. You would have thought he made it good.
Shots fired.
Yes. Fire.
I'm struggling to funk with all of the Avatar, but I'm getting through it. I don't know where I'm at the moment. I think I'm in
like episode 2.
I think I'm
Look,
almost.
I thought I had an out for next Tuesday. I was going to go to the Black Widow premiere, but now it's been cancelled because of fucking COVID. So now I have to watch Avatar this weekend.
Are you locked down, Jill?
I'm not, but I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating the fact I didn't have to go to Perth this weekend.
See, I would have loved to have gone to Perth because I've got a lot of great friends in Perth, but at the same time.
Missy's asking, she wants to show her dad a Star Wars movie, Solo or Rogue One. Well, it's for
Rogue
me,
One.
Rogue One, absolutely.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Solo is. I need to rewatch Solo because I've only watched it 1.5 times and I really didn't like it.
It has the potential. I just find it like everything else with Solo. There's a whole review. You can listen to the podcast about Solo. But Solo has that problem of the director's changed, and I think I can see each very definite decision-making process, and it didn't come together. But yeah.
All
right.
Yeah, I think we could all drop some Fs.
Fs.
Though, let me tell you, I got to say, I know what the F stands for in that case.
And that's all you got to say about that. Drinks tea.
That is all I've got to say about that.
All right. Yes. Next week is we've got this. We've still got to write the one for July for the schedule, but next week is very definitely Avatar, and by that stage, hopefully, we'll be able to put out the July schedule, so you can all do your homework and do the recommended.
I guarantee you that the July schedule will involve a fair amount of Black Widow,
Loki,
probably some Loki.
Yeah.
Hopefully some Green Knight.
There's some low-key spoilers for next week.
Also, a distinct possibility. I'm going to chase up a little bit of the new Masters of the Universe.
Ooh.
This is the dawning of the Masters of the Universe.
I don't know. It's a Friday.
I don't know what
Friday.
Where you're going, I can't follow.
It's a Friday. No one knows what the fuck's going to happen in the next few weeks. We don't fucking know. We could be able to watch stuff. The internet could be shut off. Who knows?
Yeah. Missy, we haven't done a Tuesday Loki yet because
no, but that'll be in July. We'll do that when the series is done.
Yes,
so in talk about
in
it
July. Yeah, we've got that in the
Oh
schedule.
yeah, the Shang-Chi trailer today.
Shang-Chi trailer is pretty good.
Yeah, lit.
Yes, everything's great. Yes, well, look, watch Avatar. That's your homework. Go away and do that. Thanks for popping on Friday to say hi. Thanks for joining us,
Have a great
Quinny.
weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend of staying in. And Quinny's frozen already. I mean,
Freezing in solidarity.
freezing in solidarity.
F's for Quinny.
Yeah, press F in the chat for Quinny. Yep, he's frozen. F for frozen. Jesus. I was only joking about the internet breaking down and while you're in lockdown, but wow, okay, he's really did. He's gone. He's gone, and it's thrown everything out. Everything's gone. All right, thanks everyone. We're gonna go anyway. So I'm Dion.
Love you guys. Bye.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have 'em teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from iron fist and wall. I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. Visit MA and bring her lots of flowers. Ooh,